Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. It's Christmas Eve. I was thinking about not doing a Christmas Day episode, but I changed my mind. Christmas is a fabulous holiday, and it's the season of gifts, and we can appreciate that when we've been given the gift of a great hobby, among many other things. So regardless of what country you live in, if you're listening to this, just having breath and enjoying a hobby is a great gift. It's been said it's better to give than to receive. That's true. It's good to be giving out, paying it forward, as I like to say, to be a person of value. If you want to have more friends, be a person of value to your circle of friends, be a person of skill. A great attitude is wonderful, but a wonderful attitude with some skill was what we looked for when we were hiring people, and we had a great, fabulous team. And I love to learn. I guess for Christmas, one of the things I'd like to have from my listeners and guests is more feedback. I am working on videos for my wall of fame, my card wall. I've done some tests and I'm iterating. I'm gradually improving the quality. I'm realizing now the lighting is a big deal. Who or how the camera is held is a big deal. The length can be a big deal. And so I'm getting feedback from a few people around here before I post them. When I post them, I don't think I'll be able to post them to a podcast because I think my podcast is only geared for audio. But I can put them on YouTube, and I think they can be put on Instagram and then on the podcast website. And so I'm looking at that, and the first of the year, hope to have all that squared away. Your feedback would be a gift to me of any other stuff you'd like to see besides the wall. All the wall cards are graded, and they're all BGS, but I've got lots of other cards, actually too many cards. And even though I'm trying to sell 1% a month, there's still a pretty big number of cards. So if there's other things you'd like to see, whether it's by the player, by the set, type cards, anything like that, I'm at your service. I don't think I can please everybody all the time, but I can please some of the people some of the time. And so if you've got some good ideas, I'd love to have them. Even box reveals. I've got boxes. It's like I say, I'll watch TV and I'll bring a box into the house and go through it. And it's a surprise. Now, I'm not a person that likes surprises, except everybody likes positive surprises. So it's a positive surprise to open a box and to find something interesting that you haven't seen for a while. It's one of the reasons I like dollar boxes. It's one of the reasons people like to do breaks. It's one of the reasons I've always liked buying collections. So people say, what do you want for Christmas? I don't really think of it that way. It would need to be one card, but I'm really looking forward to a couple of lots that are difficult to describe that I won on Huggins & Scott at the last auction, and they're probably in transit. And when I get them, I'm going to be surprised, I think pleasantly. Again, there'll be some stuff in there that I'm thinking, I don't want this, but every card can find a home. So the positive surprise of buying something like that is good. Along with better to give than to receive, how do you give or receive love? There's the book of the 5 love languages that are not necessarily for romantic. It can be non-romantic. Just how do you express love, affection, care for another person? And one of the ones is touch. I don't think I've put on my Christmas list that I'm looking for a Christmas hug, but some people are huggers, less so than before COVID. But touch is certainly one of them. Gifts is the most obvious one for around Christmas time, but giving a gift is not the only way that you can love somebody or show them love or to receive, but a gift. And the gifts are difficult to give to the collector that has the particularity of what he or she wants in his collection. If you drop hints, it's still, I don't think my friends who are not serious collectors, and I'm not asking for anything, really, I'm not giving or receiving cards as gifts this year, maybe at some point in the future. A third one is acts of service. This is one that was important in my family growing up. If you love somebody, you got to do something nice for them, not just, well, the other one is words of affirmation. You can just say something nice, but doing something nice to me is better than saying something nice. On the other hand, I'm getting more generous in my compliments as I age and realize that words of affirmation are meaningful to a lot of people. And then finally, quality time. And quality time is defined by the person. And those of you who are parents, the quality time for a little kid can be just showing up, just being there, being present. In the hobby, there are a lot of opportunities for quality time. What's one of the things I've really enjoyed about the podcast is to be able to have interview guests, some of whom I already know pretty well, but some of whom I don't know that well, and just to take 15 minutes, and sometimes it's more, but 15 minutes per episode to just lock in on that person, what's important to them. That's been great. And so I want to give them my full attention at that time to block out the distractions as I'm doing right now. And I hope you'll consider that listening to this podcast is quality time. I know it's daunting for those of you who are subscribers and you get one pretty much every day except Sunday. But they're short, and I hope they're short and sweet and enjoyable and entertaining. And certainly that's the case many of the times, especially with some of the outstanding guests that I've had. So I had COVID when it was first coming out, and I got a very mild case, and I'm not concerned about getting it again. I'm not sure that you can get it again. It doesn't mean I'm going to be foolish to running, but card shows can be spreader events. And yet I think my encouragement, I can't give you a gift, but my encouragement this Christmas is to take good care of yourself. Another Christmas aphorism is love your neighbor as yourself. Most people focus on the love your neighbor and who is your neighbor, but you got to love yourself. And so give yourself permission to not be perfect, to enjoy life, to give back, as I said, to be a person of value. And everybody brightens a room. They either brighten it when they walk in or they brighten it when they walk out. If you're a gloomy Gus, you brighten the room when you walk out. So Christmas ought to be a time of hope and optimism. And we will get through these health challenges. And thanks again, sponsors, for persevering. The hobby landscape is unpredictable. There are no sure things. The card companies found that out this year. I think the LCSs have had great years. The auction companies have had great years. ComC, Beckett Media. I think most of the companies in the industry have done really well this year, and I hope it continues. I'm thinking there are going to be additional innovations going forward. But again, the bright spot to me is that this is a hobby of stuff, but it's a hobby of people. And really, it's gratifying to see the increase in the intensity of the hobby and the expansion. And it's because people like the stuff, but even more, they like the people that are involved with this stuff, the cards. So if it's stuff, it could even be digital stuff like NFTs. Again, I'm not on that bandwagon, but there's a lot of creative ways to enjoy the hobby of sports card collecting and memorabilia can be broadly defined. So thanks, everybody, for another year. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whichever you would prefer. But still, in every sense, this ought to be a season of blessing and hope and optimism. So thanks, everybody. Be back again tomorrow with be back again on Monday with another episode. And we'll do some end of the year stuff. And I promise I will get some videos out. And give me some feedback on there. Tell your friends or get feedback from your friends. Just find out what they'd like to see, because I've got a lot of cards here that I don't need to keep buried in a box. So thanks, everybody. Be back again soon. The man in the house of cards. The man